Braking for me, it's braking for me. It's gonna start turning. Oh. No, keep on going, bro. Keep on going. Oh, dude, will it go up this? I don't know if it's gonna go up this. Oh no, it's going faster. No, I don't trust it to do this turn. This is a freaking good one. Oh, dude. It's so fast, dude. Alright. Oops. No, how do you turn it on? There you go. You do like a half click or something. Whoa, dude. Slow down. Holy moly. It's driving itself! I'm gonna go do a left change. Is it gonna stop though? Is it gonna follow this line? Yep. Let's do one more lane change. No, I want to go left. Ah, damn it. Cool. Works. Alright, hey, Hades Mega here. So, I just got done doing the Volkswagen ID.4 test drive. I think it's a ID.4 experience or roadshow or something. They came here to Santana Row today to let people test drive the ID.4. So, and I just test drove a Tesla Model Y for the first time. Okay, so I can compare the two. They're very comparable. Okay, I'll tell you that now. So this is my little vlog. I'm going to talk about the ID.4 and then I'm going to talk about my little Model Y test drive. So I actually was not planning to test drive the Model Y today, but the Tesla store is here at Santana Row. So I said, and I was just kind of looking at it on going back on the way to my car, and I was like, I never driven a Model Y before. I kind of want to drive one now. Like so I went to the Tesla store and said, hey, I want to do a test drive. So okay, so I'm just gonna talk about the test drive and then like what I kind of think about the car and the interior and stuff, like what it felt like, type of thing. Okay, I'm not gonna go over the specs, or I kind of go over the specs. Honestly, I don't know how much power the Model Y had, but they said the ID.4, okay, they said the ID.4 had like 202 horsepower or something, somewhere around 200 horsepower, and that was the rear-wheel drive version. I don't think they have any of the all-wheel drive versions yet. They said that the all-wheel drive version, yeah, the all-wheel drive version will run you anywhere from like 45 to 50,000, okay, $50,000, okay, and I think the lowest model starts at 40,000, okay, and I think that's the rear-wheel drive. The all-wheel drive version has more power. That's what they told me, and I think they said it has a towing capacity of 2,700. I don't know if it's more or less if you have the all-wheel drive. I would think maybe more if the all-wheel drive, you got more power, right? And you got more power and more traction. More power, more traction, more towing capacity, right? But I'm not much sure. They told me it's 2,700 pounds. That's one of the things I asked about. The Hades Mega is looking into getting a SUV of some sort this year, okay? This year or maybe next year. And all these electric SUVs are coming out. So the ID.4, they're doing test drives here today. Okay, so I'm going to talk about that. I got a bunch of pictures and some videos of the interior. I will probably put that at the end of the video. So pretty much they just give you the car and then say come back in 10-15 minutes. Okay, so and it's like, yeah, you know, 10 minutes and there's like traffic all over the place. Yeah, good luck. But I tried to get it back in like 10 minutes as fast as I could. And I kind of know my way around Santana Row because I've done BMW test rides at San Jose BMW down the street from here, so I kind of know the area where I would want to go. Okay, and plus I'm like an Uber driver, I know like everything about this area. So anyway, yeah, so the ID.4, man, it was nice. It had like a lot of power. It wasn't as powerful as the Model Y, I'll tell you that now. but yeah, it was still pretty fast. It was like, well they told me to put, there's a couple modes. There's an eco mode and there's an eco or like a street mode, and then there's a sport mode. So they told me to just put it in sport mode, so that's what I did. I put it in sport mode and then I took it out for a drive, and yeah, you know, it was really nice. It was pretty easy to drive for how wide it is. It turns pretty well. The handling, I don't remember how fast the steering was. The steering was kind of slow, okay? Oh yeah, you know what? I test drove a Rav4 Hybrid the other day too. So that's also a very comparable vehicle to this, okay? But it's not electric though, okay? But I can kind of like compare all three, okay? Okay. So yeah, this is my Rav4 Hybrid, ID.4, and Tesla Model Y experience vlog. Okay, but I came here for the ID.4 today, okay? But yeah, it goes when you step on it. It like it's like almost like how I say like a super bike fast. When I ride a super bike, you twist the throttle and you're just going and you don't notice how fast you are when you look down. I found myself constantly speeding. Okay, constantly. I was like, well, and it will tell you if you're speeding. That's one of the annoying things about it. The little screen, it'll tell you you're speeding. It'll say, hey, you're going too fast. I had like a tire pressure sensor error or something, or it was saying one of the tires was low on air, so I stopped somewhere and I looked at the tires and like, they don't look like they're low on air. So I don't know. I don't know what the deal with that is, but yeah, it definitely had plenty of get up and go. Compared to power to like the Model Y, the Model Y, dude, it's faster. The Model Y feels faster and it feels lighter for some reason. Okay, like the ID.4, when you step on the pedal, there's kind of like a little lag, and then it goes like, you know, it doesn't feel fast, but it is fast, okay? But the Model Y, it's just like if you step on that pedal, it goes, it puts you back in the seat, you know? I'm pretty sure there might be a way to make it go faster too. I didn't really play around with the computer all that much. So yeah, it was pretty awesome, the Model Y and the ID.4. It handled really good. It has a pretty good turning radius, the ID.4. I was surprised, like I could maneuver it pretty easily into the parking spots, but it feels big, okay? Like Hades Mega is not a real, I don't really drive SUVs all that much, and I'm planning to get one, okay? I do drive minivans, but yeah, it just, compared to the Rav4, I feel like the Rav4, like it feels like the biggest, kind of hardest to drive. Like you kind of don't know where the corners are, and the hood is feels so big on the Rav4. The ID.4 didn't feel like that. And the Model Y, it didn't feel like that either. The Model Y, I think out of all the three vehicles I test drove today and yesterday, I feel that the Model Y was the easiest to drive. Okay, and I've driven a Model S and a Model 3 before, okay, but just in case you guys don't know. It's been a while since I drove one though, so I didn't even know how to adjust the steering wheel, and everything is done like on the little computer. So honestly, I like the RAV4 interior the best out of all. Yeah. So we'll talk about the interiors real quick. I like the RAV4 interior the best because it still has buttons and dials and stuff. I like that, you know, and it's still got like lots of digital displays and stuff. The ID.4 and the Model Y were very similar. It's a very minimalistic interior if you're into that. Like it's like you're driving a computer type of thing, you know. And like, yeah, they have like smart keys and everything. The RAV4, it kind of just felt like driving a Prius. It still kind of feel like driving a car, so I'm gonna say, all right. The Model Y and ID.4, it feels like you're driving an appliance. That's what it feels like. So yeah, that's one thing. The Model Y even more so because it just has the big computer in the center, and then you do everything right there. One thing I have to say I do like about the Model Y. In the interior is, well, the autopilot. I get to play with the autopilot again, man, and it's just like, it just blows my mind every time I use the autopilot. Like, yeah, there was this one turn, like I said like, no, you are not gonna do that turn. I will do that turn for you, because it was like a hairpin turn. I was like, it probably would have just kept. It was accelerating towards the turn. I was like, oh boy. I was like, no, you better take control. I don't want to crash this thing. Like, I probably would have done it, but it probably would have braked really hard at the end, you know, before it got to the end. So, but anyway, yeah, it had the autopilot, and it has that little radar screen where like, it shows you where everything is while you're driving, and like it's kind of distracting, but it kind of does help you, like, it tells you what's around the car. I think your spatial awareness out of the three, the RAV4 and the ID.4, the Model Y it feels like you can see around the car much better. Plus you have all those cameras and stuff. Yeah. Now the ID.4 does have the blind spot monitoring lights. They mounted inboard into the mirror, and I like that. It's really nice. It's really noticeable. It's like a bright light that kind of goes out. I would imagine it might be kind of annoying at night, but it really gets your attention. Like, hey, there's somebody there. But the Model Y, yeah, you got the little computer to tell you everything's there. You're kind of glued to the little computer while you're driving. You know, that's how you know everything is around you. You know, the ID.4 has the bright lights on the mirrors, and then the RAV4 has it has a little light icon that's on the mirror itself. And honestly, I didn't even notice it when I was driving the RAV4. Yeah. None of my cars have any of that kind of tech in it anyways, but it's like, I don't really care, but you should really just, you know, check your mirrors and stuff and learn your vehicle, basically, you know. But I felt that the ID.4's kind of blind spot monitoring system, it worked pretty good. I like the really bright lights, you know, and I think the one on the RAV4, I think it was disabled or something because it wasn't even working, so... and yeah, it's kind of cool. The first time I've driven something like that was like a Miata, and it was kind of cool. It beeps whenever it thinks you're gonna hit something too. Yeah, but anyway, the ID.4, yeah, it was great. It was great to drive. I liked it. It's pretty big. The interior is really big. I tried to lie down in it, and if you wanted to sleep in the ID.4, you probably could. If you do it like maybe diagonally. There's not a whole lot of room in the trunk, is what I'm gonna say, but they're all very comparable. The RAV4, the Model. In fact, I think the Model Y probably had it felt like it had the biggest interior. Yeah, and it had like the most fanciest gizmos. Like it has like an electric button to do everything, to make the seat go down. I don't know if I like that or not. I honestly, I feel that something like that is gonna break down the line, and it's just not gonna work anymore. So just a regular button or latch or something is fine with me, man. So that makes me back, like, yeah, I like the RAV4 interior the best out of all the three, because there's still buttons and dials. It still feels like you're driving a car, you know. It's just old school like that. That's what I want to say. Like, I'm sitting in my Galant VR4 right now, you know, and it still has buttons and stuff. So now I do drive a Prius, you know, and the RAV4 just felt like a bigger Prius. Bigger, and it just feels a little more unwieldy, but it still gets up and goes. It had about as much power as the ID.4, so yeah. I think if you put them side by side, I think the ID.4 would probably take the RAV4 off the line. It feels like it gets up and goes faster, and because they're both about the same horsepower. They're like 220 horsepower versus 200 horsepower, so they're comparably fast. They're both pretty quick. Okay, if you're because the Hades Mega needs a lot of power because he's going to use it to tow. That's what I say. But what Hades Mega is planning on getting the Rav4 Prime, and that has like 300 horsepower. So, but the Rav4 Hybrid and ID.4, I think they're comparably fast. Now in the Model Y, it's just there's no competition, dude. The Model Y was really fast, dude. It just it kind of just puts you back in the seat fast, that fast. Okay, the steering. You know what? I like the ID.4 steering. Actually, I like the steering and the ride and the ID.4. The ride quality was really good. I felt it was a good balance between stiff suspension, like, because it still cornered really good. All of them cornered really good. I'm really impressed with these newer modern SUVs, man. They corner really good for how big they are, you know? And they corner fairly flat. But I feel that the ID.4 had the best ride. Because I remember I went over a bunch of potholes and stuff, and I hardly felt it at all. And the Model Y, the interior is a little noisier. I noticed because I drove it right after, and yeah, you could definitely hear more stuff, and it kind of the Model Y, you can hear more stuff, is what I'm gonna say. And it feels a little clunkety, like when you hit a bump or something, you hear some rattles inside the car, and I feel the suspension is stiffer. It's probably because the wheels are so freaking big. Okay, the ID.4 had some pretty big wheels too. I think they did a really good job with the ride quality on that ID.4. I felt like it handled good, and it, you know, handling wise, I think they all handled pretty good. For whatever reason, the Model Y, it just feels lighter going through the turns and stuff. The steering wise, the Toyota had like the shortest steering. I cannot believe it. Like, it's like driving a go-kart. Like, you would be like this, you know, that's it. That's as much as it turns, you know. The ID.4, you still have to turn it a little bit. I think the Model Y was kind of similar to the RAV4 in the steering department. Okay. Honestly, I think I still like the ID.4. I still kind of want to turn the wheel a little bit more. It's not, I don't need a freaking race car, man. It's not a go-kart. Yeah. And one thing I didn't like about the RAV4 is the steering was so light. It's like, I'm used to driving my Prius, and the Prius has really good steering wheel feedback. The RAV4 doesn't, dude. Yeah, the RAV4 doesn't. But the whatchamacallit, I think that I felt I like the steering in the ID.4 the best. It felt the most weighty. I don't know if you can adjust any of that stuff on any of the other cars, but I felt like the weight of the steering wheel was good, you know, and it still turns a little bit. Yeah, they did a really good job with the handling on that ID.4, because Tanner Faust drove it. Yeah. But anyway, and then the Model Y, I felt the steering was kind of the same as the RAV4. It was kind of a little too light, but I don't know, for whatever reason, I feel that the Model Y was like easier to drive, you know. They did a good job with the Model Y. That's what I'm saying. It's like a hatchback version of the Model 3. Now, price-wise, the Model Y and the ID.4 are very comparable in price. Okay, so $40,000 for the base model ID.4, and then if you get the all-wheel drive, they said it was like 45 to, like, you're looking at 45 to 50,000. Okay, so like 50,000, you're already in Model Y territory. The Model Y starts at 50, and they said it does come with dual motor at 50. So yeah, they're very comparable, the ID.4 and the Tesla. The RAV4, it's still very comparable to the two, and it's much cheaper. Yeah, it's less than 40. I think it starts around 35. So I think the best value, honestly, is the RAV4. But it's not electric. Okay, it's not electric. Now the RAV4 Prime is electric. It's electric for 40 miles. So, and it has like 300 horsepower. So it is kind of, it actually has more power than the ID.4. It probably, and I think it has almost the same power as the ID.4. It has more power than the ID.4 with the all-wheel drive too. So the RAV4 Prime is still good. it's still good. Okay, so I say, if you can find one for a good price, you know. for the MSRP, I feel the Toyota is the better deal. Okay, but if you really want an electric SUV, then like the Model Y and the ID.4, they're good. They're good. I think they were saying that the ID.4 gets 250-mile range. I think, I don't know. It depends on the you know, the model of the Model Y you get. I think it's around like 300 miles of range. It goes pretty far. so yeah, they're really good. Yeah. But that being said, all these three vehicles, they impress me a whole lot. They're all very comparable. Okay, I felt the Model Y was the fastest and the easiest to drive. The Rav4 was not the easiest to drive. The Rav4 was like kind of hardest. It's like driving like a truck or something. That's what it felt like. The Rav4 feels more rugged. That's for sure. I think you could do some legit off-roading. The ID.4 and the ID.4 and the Model Y, you know, they were just like big cars. You know, I don't think they intended for you to take those off-road at all. Okay, I suppose you could, but you know, not so much. You know, I feel the Rav4 is the most off-road oriented out of the bunch. Okay, so if you're gonna drive through more like dirt roads and, you know, off-road stuff, then I would get the Rav4. But yeah, if you're just driving on the street, anyone is fine. Anyone is fine. Yeah, they're all good. I'm very impressed with these modern SUVs. I'm like, yeah, I want to drive more of them. I think there's another one coming out, the Hyundai Ioniq 4 or 5 or something. Yeah, and then there's a Kia one also coming out. So there's a lot, you know, there's a lot that Hades Omega can go for. That's what I want to say. But I think for the best value is the Rav4. It's the cheapest, and you know, it does the same thing. You know, it might not be as fast as the Model Y, or you know, or might not be like fully electric. You still put gas in it, you know, that kind of thing though. So yeah, there is that. So if you really want to go electric, you're gonna pay a little bit more, for sure. Is the electric still haven't caught up to the gasoline models in price? That's for sure. That's what I want to say. Okay, yeah. So I had a great time driving the ID.4, the Rav4, and the Model Y, and so that's just my kind of like seat of the pants kind of experience vlog. All right, and I'll have some pictures of all four of the vehicles. I think I would be happy with either one, with any of them. Okay, but you know, the Tesla, it's just like you hear a lot of quality control stuff about Teslas. That's one thing that scares me from the Teslas. A Volkswagen and Toyota, I can confidently say, yeah, they're pretty real, especially the Toyota. Hades Omega's owned Toyotas for a while, and man, they go the distance, you know, and they require minimum maintenance, you know. Of course, these are electric vehicles, and they probably don't require a whole lot of maintenance, so yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. But Hades Omega's still old school like that, you know. I still do oil changes and stuff, so I won't try to get away from that. That's why, you know. But anyway, yeah, I had a great time driving those three vehicles, and that's my experiences with them. Take a look at some of these clips of me driving them, or just, you know, of the vehicles. And I think the Rav4, I didn't get too many of them, but that's my experience driving the Rav4 Hybrid, the ID.4, the Volkswagen ID.4, and the Tesla Model Y. Okay, yeah, I also wanted to make a note about the interior space, the cargo space. You know, that's one of the important things you got to be thinking about when you're getting an SUV, right? That's one of the reasons you're buying it, for utility, right? But anyway, they all had comparable size interiors. I think, man, I feel that the Model Y and the Rav4 probably have the bigger interiors. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know, but I did drive the ID.4 and the Model Y back to back. It just feels like the interior is a little more spacious. It's more spacious in the Model Y. You feel like more open, you know, and like the visibility is really good on all of them are pretty good. I kind of felt like the ID.4 and the Rav4 felt a little more claustrophobic, but in terms of cargo space, they're all pretty similar. One thing I don't like about the Rav4 is the seats don't fold down flat all the way. Okay, they kind of like they go down and then they stay up just a tiny bit. It doesn't go totally flat. So that's one thing I don't like about Toyota. Like the Prius seats go down all the way flat. So why can't the Rav4 do it? Yeah. And then the Tesla Model Y had like a bunch of buttons and stuff to like let the seats go down. Oh yeah, the seats move front and back in the Model Y also. So yeah, I think the Model Y had the most space in it. It did. Yeah. I feel that probably the RAV4 and the ID.4 had very similar interiors. The Model Y, it felt the biggest. All right, here's me out. All right, hey, here's me. So I'm home now, and I just wanted to mention how each one of the test drives went. So I'll kind of go into order. For the RAV4 test drive, I went to a Toyota dealership to do it, and so the way that worked is I just talked to the dude, hey, I want to drive this, and then they give you give them your driver's license, and they take your info down, and then they get one of those temporary plates and they hang it off the back of the car, and then the salesperson goes in the car with you, and then you go on a test drive. And that test drive was we went out on the street, and I did like a U-turn and hopped on the freeway right away. And then I went to another freeway. This is at Capital Express. This is at Capital Toyota, by the way. So that's like their test drive route. And then you go down and then you exit the freeway and you go down Almaden Expressway, and then you drive all the way back. And I felt that was a pretty good little test route to show me, how the car handled and all that stuff. Okay, and then you get to sit the lights and play around with the controls and stuff. So for the Volkswagen ID.4. I did the ID.4 experience or roadshow was. I signed up on the internet beforehand, and then I went to Santana Row is where we did it at, and then you give them your info on the computer, and they take you to the parking garage, and then when when ID.4 shows up, you hop in, and then like they tell you this is how you used to do the mirrors and all that stuff, and how to adjust the seat. And then pretty much they say come back in 10 minutes. See ya. Honestly, 10 minutes is not enough, man. Literally 10 minutes is enough to leave the shopping center and then come back, drive around the block, and then come back. So, but what I did is I exited, and I kind of knew my way around, and then I hopped on the freeway real quick, and then I exited somewhere where I do like the test routes for riding motorcycles, because there's a big there's these big off ramps is what they are, and then I would go on one, and then you can go back off on the other one, and then hop back on the freeway. So that way you get a good feel for the handling under load and stuff. and then you take some of the streets back and stuff, and you can drive it in the traffic and stuff. So I think that was a good little route too. And like, yeah, they don't get they're not in the car with you, it's no pressure, I don't know, man, like what if you come back and it's like all messed up and stuff, it makes me wonder. But well, they get your info, you break it, you bought it, right, type of thing. And then for the Tesla Model Y test drive, they actually had a Tesla store. They don't have a dealership, right? Tesla doesn't have dealerships, so they have a Tesla store, and then you can go there and you can test drive one. And it was about as easy as it was to test drive the ID.4. In fact, they didn't even ask for. I don't think they even asked for my info. They just took some info for my ID card, and they asked me like why I wanted to test drive it, and they're like, I told them like, I just wanted to test drive it. I've driven a 3 and an S before, and he was like for educational purposes. I'm like, yes, exactly. No, I was like, I don't plan to buy one. I just wanted to try it out. I straight up told them, that's not what the salespeople want to hear, man. But they were cool with it, man. So I was like, yeah, all right, let's go. And then so they take you out back. They take you through the store, and then they say like, all right, just wait here for a minute in the lounge, and then like he takes you out back. He gets the key for the card. It's not a key. It's not a key. It's a card. Okay, they use cards and stuff, and you could use your phone too. You could register your phone with it. But if you owned it, then you would register your phone with it. But yeah, you take the little card. He takes the card, and he takes you to the vehicle, opens it, and then he turns it on, like he said, and then he tells you to turn it on, and then he shows you how to adjust the mirrors and stuff. The Tesla Model Y is a little funky adjusting everything, because you got to use the computer to do like everything, and it's just like, it's something you don't want to do while you're driving. That's for sure, dude. You go through all the freaking menus and stuff, I'd imagine you'd probably get pretty used to it after a while. But yeah, the Model Y was the most difficult to operate, because like, yeah, everything is on the computer console, and you have to kind of like know your way around. like I said, that's why I like the RAV4 the best, because it's still got buttons and dials all over the place. So stuff you can touch and tweak and, you know, stuff like that. So, and then yeah, anyway, he said like, yeah, okay, come back in like 20 minutes or something. So, and then come get him when you're done. I didn't know that I was supposed to bring the card back to him. I just left it in the car, but I asked him like, hey, I just came back from a test drive after, and I said like, I left the card in the car. Did you want me to bring that back? Like, so he brought me out back, and then I went and grabbed it and I gave it back to him, because they have a little test drive parking area for all the Teslas and stuff. What else? Yeah, so and that one was like that. The Tesla test drive was it was the same thing. Like, here's the car, have fun. Go back in 10-15 minutes, and then that's it. You know, you take it wherever you want to go for however long you feel you need to. You know, like I think 10-15 minutes is fine. You know, especially with like the traffic and all that. You're definitely going to be gone around 15 minutes. That's for sure. And yeah, it was pretty no stress, you know, just here's the vehicle, go take it for a drive if you have any questions, and then off you go. So that's what I did. I pretty much did the same route I did with the ID.4. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so yeah, that's how each of the test drives went. I would think the ID.4, when the dealers get them, you can probably just go to a dealer and just say, hey, I want to drive ID.4, and then they'll let you. Okay, so yeah, that's just a little more info on how I did these test drives. Okay, like how each one was. Honestly, I would rather like, unless I don't know where I am, you know, I would rather just be in the car by myself and whatever, you know, would be good. Instead of like having the salesperson in the back seat, you know, telling me where to go and stuff. But like, if I don't know where I'm going, then yeah, I would prefer they come along, you know, and they tell you, okay, they're gonna go this way, we're gonna go that way, you know. So each one is okay. I don't mind, you know. But then you know, you can't do any crazy stuff if they're in the cars. I'm gonna say, but I didn't do it. I'm not gonna lie. There was a couple times I exceeded the speed limits. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. All right, here's big out. Oh yeah. So another thing I didn't go over was the range. Duh. It's like the most important thing about electric car, right? Anyway, they told me the range for the ID.4 was like 250. Okay, the Rav4 Hybrid range is like 580 miles. So they could go like some serious distance before having to put gas in it, man. Okay, and then I think the Tesla Model Y. I think you can only get the Model Y in dual motor. But anyway, it's about 244 miles, it says. So it's comparable to the ID.4. Okay. And yeah, so just think about the RAV4 as like 580 miles, and then the RAV4 Prime plus the 40 miles electric only range puts it at like 600 plus miles. It's ridiculous, dude. Yeah, the RAV4 could definitely go the distance, okay, but who needs to drive that far in one sitting anyways, you know. Yeah, I think 250 miles is perfect for SUV. Like, I would be happy with anything over 150, honestly. I don't really drive that long of distances, man, so I think 150 plus would be fine for me. 200, you know, split the difference. But yeah, they do, the Model Y and the ID.4 do 250 miles-ish, okay? I don't know how much the all-wheel drive ID.4 does, though, so I think probably similar. Let me see. Yeah, I think it would be. It's around. They're both around 250. So, okay. So yeah, those are your ranges, man. Still can't beat the hybrid, but that's fine. Like anything over 200 is fine with me, though. So.